Marie Antoinette, the rise and fall of a queen. Welcome to Echoes of History, where forgotten lives come back to life. In today's episode, we follow the haunting journey of a queen who was crowned in luxury and died in silence. This is not just a tale of royalty, but of revolution, betrayal, and a woman trapped in history's harshest spotlight. This is the story of Marie Antoinette. Let them eat cake. 4 words that would define a queen. Words she never said. But history, like the people who write it, is often less concerned with truth than with symbols. And Marie Antoinette, born an Archduchess of Austria and crowned Queen of France, became the perfect symbol of extravagance, of indifference, of monarchy at its most out of touch. But her real story? Far more human, far more tragic. A child of empire. Marie Antoinette was born on November 2, 1755, in Vienna, Austria. She was the 15th child of Empress Maria Theresa, one of the most powerful rulers in Europe. Her full name? Maria Antonia Josepha Johanna. Even her name was royal. Her childhood was filled with music, languages, dance, and etiquette, though, in truth, her education was less rigorous than that of her elder siblings. By the time she was a teenager, Europe was a chessboard, and royal children were the pieces. To forge peace between Austria and France after years of war, Maria Theresa arranged for her daughter to marry the French Dauphin, Louis Auguste, the grandson of Louis XV. At just 14 years old, Maria Antonia left her homeland, her language, and her family, becoming Marie Antoinette, Dauphine of France. She arrived in France to a mixed reception. Some welcomed her youth and charm. Others eyed her with suspicion. An Austrian? In Versailles, the long-standing enmity between Austria and France had not been forgotten. And she, barely a teenager, was now the political bridge between 2 centuries-old rivals. Life at Versailles, gilded cage. Versailles was a palace of beauty, but also of rigid rules and endless scrutiny. Court life was a performance, and Marie Antoinette was cast into a role she neither asked for nor fully understood. Her husband, Louis Auguste, was shy, awkward, and uninterested in romance. For years, their marriage went unconsummated, becoming a subject of cruel gossip across Europe. Under pressure to produce an heir and win the love of the French people, Marie Antoinette felt trapped. She turned to fashion, gambling, theater, and private friendships for escape. She began to build a circle of confidants and spent increasing time at her private estate, the Petit Trianon, where she could live free from the crushing formality of court. She laughed, she danced, she dressed like a peasant for fun. To her, it was play. To the public, it was mockery. Her elaborate hairstyles became legendary. Her gowns set trends across Europe. But to the struggling masses outside the palace gates, her extravagance was not inspiring, it was infuriating. France was deep in debt. People were hungry, and she, the foreign queen, seemed to be living in another world. Rumors and scapegoats. As the 1780s wore on, public opinion turned darker. Pamphlets known as labels circulated, portraying Marie Antoinette as immoral, manipulative, and foreign. They accused her of everything from lesbian affairs to treason. The infamous diamond necklace affair, though she had no direct involvement, further stained her name. When told that French peasants had no bread, she allegedly said, "Let them eat cake." She never did, but the rumor stuck. In times of crisis, people need someone to blame. The economy was collapsing, bread prices were rising, and unemployment was rampant. While King Louis XVI was perceived as indecisive and weak, Marie Antoinette was seen as powerful and corrupt. Truth became irrelevant. Perception ruled. Revolution begins. By 1789, revolution was no longer a whisper, it was a roar. The Estates General was convened. And soon after, the Bastille fell. Paris was in chaos. The people were armed, and their anger turned toward Versailles. In October 1789, a mob of thousands, many of them women, marched from Paris to Versailles. Their demand? Bread. Their fury? Directed at the Queen. That night, the palace was stormed. Guards were slaughtered. Marie Antoinette, awakened in the middle of the night, fled barefoot through the corridors with her children. She narrowly escaped assassination. The royal family was forced to move to Paris. to the Tuileries Palace. From that moment on, they were prisoners in all but name. The flight to Varennes. In June 1791, the royal family attempted a daring escape. Disguised as servants, they fled Paris in a covered carriage, hoping to reach the border and join loyalist forces. But they were recognized in the town of Varennes. Their portraits had been printed on currency, an irony that sealed their fate. The family was arrested and brought back to Paris in shame. The people's trust was shattered. Any hope of a constitutional monarchy crumbled. The revolutionaries no longer saw a queen, they saw a traitor. Downfall and trial. In 1792, the monarchy was abolished. France was declared a republic. King Louis was tried and executed in January 1793. Now a widow, Marie Antoinette was more alone than ever. Her children were taken from her. Her son, Louis Charles, now nominally Louis XVII, was abused and brainwashed to testify against her. In October 1793, she was tried by the Revolutionary Tribunal. The charges were absurd: incest, treason, and corruption. The trial was a sham. Her fate was decided long before the verdict. She was sentenced to death. The Last Walk. On October 16, 1793, Marie Antoinette was led through the streets of Paris in a simple white dress. Her once golden hair had turned white from stress and grief. Unlike her husband, who had been taken to the guillotine in a covered carriage, she was paraded publicly in an open cart, a final humiliation. Crowds jeered, children threw stones, but she remained silent, dignified. At the scaffold, she accidentally stepped on the executioner's foot. Her last words: "Pardon me, sir, I did not do it on purpose." At 12:15 p.m., the blade fell. She was 37 years old. Memory and myth. Marie Antoinette's death marked the end of an era. But her story didn't end there. In the centuries since, she has been reimagined in countless ways: villain, victim, icon. From films to fashion, she remains a symbol of opulence and tragedy. Was she careless? At times, yes. Was she guilty of treason? The evidence is flimsy. Was she heartless? Far from it. She was a teenager turned queen, a foreigner turned scapegoat, a mother turned martyr. The revolution that consumed her was about much more than one woman. But she became its face. Not because she deserved it, because she fit the narrative. And sometimes, in the pages of history, that's all it takes. Final thoughts. Marie Antoinette's life is not just a royal biography, it's a mirror held up to power, privilege, and public opinion. Her rise and fall remind us that truth is often lost in the noise of revolution. That symbols are easier to judge than human beings. And that history doesn't always wait for justice. If this story moved you, if it made you think twice about what history chooses to remember, then please, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment below: was Marie Antoinette a villain or a victim? And don't forget to hit the bell icon, so you never miss another echo from the past.